Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just a reminder that we please turn off or silence all cell phones, electronic devices. This is a hearing of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Thorold for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Everyone present will be given an opportunity to speak for or against the applications being heard. Members of the public are welcome to speak to the planning matters before the committee together, specifically as they relate to the minor variance or land severance applications under consideration. Please ensure your comments focus on the relevant planning matters to which the committee is deciding on. When given a chance to speak, you will have 5 minutes, so please be sure to be as clear and consistent as possible. For your information, Committee of Adjustment is a public process. Personal information such as the applicant's name and property address, which is reported at a Committee of Adjustment meeting, is public information. Minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting will be received by Thorold City Council. Please address your comments and questions through the chair. A copy of the decision will be sent to the applicant or agent or to any person who files a written request. Agencies commenting on applications may request that certain conditions be imposed. Voicing objections to these conditions will not adversely affect the committee's decision. Committee of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body operating under the Planning Act, Municipal Act, and the Statutory Powers Procedure Act, as well as various provincial regulations. Sections 45 and 50 of the Planning Act outline the circumstances surrounding the approval of minor variances and controlling the conveyance of land in Ontario and the prevention of subdivision of land except with governmental approval. The applicant, the minister, or any specified person or public body who has an interest in the matter may, within 20 days of the making of the minor variance decision and 20 days from the date of the mailing of consent decision, appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal. Please note, neighbors and others interested parties not defined by the Planning Act are no longer eligible to file appeals as per Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022. Will the clerk please read the land acknowledgement?
The City of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hadawin-Dalrank, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The City of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live.
Thank you. Does any member of this panel have a pecuniary interest in any of the applications to be considered at this hearing? No, nor do I. We have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Mr. Ravenek, Mr. Jackson, seconded. All in favor? Thank you. A motion that the minutes of September 18th, 2025 be adopted as presented. Mr. Daniels, seconded by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor? Thank you. Was notice given as according to the Planning Act, Madam Secretary?
Yes.
Are there any requests for withdrawal or adjournment?
No.
Thank you. The first application, D1320, 2025. Mr. Planner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you. This application is a minor variance as part of a larger site plan application for 1355 Uppers Lane. It's a 2,500 square meter expansion of the Niagara Detention Center. The detention center is zoned major institutional and designated institutional in the Rolling Meadows secondary plan. The reliefs they're seeking today are primarily due to parking, so they're going to ask for a reduction in parking spaces from 82 to 24, barrier-free parking spaces from 4 to 2, loading space requirements from 2 to 0, and bicycle parking from 3 to 0. As I mentioned, the subject lands in question are the Niagara Detention Center, and it's zoned major institutional. When we look at kind of provincial policy and regulations regarding institutional uses, the PPS and Niagara Region Official Plan are pretty consistent in their language that we're supposed to work with the government and partner agencies to develop a context-specific design approach for these institutional uses. Similarly, the City of Thorold's official plan seeks to incorporate existing institutional uses extending their lifespan as long as possible. When we look at the zoning bylaw does not directly address detention centers. It just broadly kind of describes parking regulations for institutional uses. As part of this application that was submitted, a parking study was completed by Stantec Consulting, and a letter of support has been drafted in support of these reduced parking spaces. With regards to the appropriateness of the development for the land, again, this is a detention center. Parking is not what the main kind of intention of the site is. Furthermore, the site isn't a long-term kind of detention center. It is used for kind of short-term stays. So the idea of kind of long-term visitor parking being a major requirement isn't present here. With regards to the variance being minor in nature, as I mentioned, parking isn't a major consideration for detention centers. The province has directed us to kind of consult with the institutions to identify what they need specifically from a design perspective. And we've worked with those government partners to kind of identify what the needs are. When we did a site visit, we identified that the parking lot is not yet at capacity, so there is still some overflow from the existing parking. So as such, planning staff are of the opinion that the requested variances are minor in nature, and we are supportive of the application, subject to the conditions listed within the report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you to the planner. Who speaks on behalf of this? If you could identify yourself, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, staff, committee members. My name is Valdemar Nickel from Nor Architects at 175 Bloor Street East, Toronto. And I am the applicant authorized agent for the Solicitor General through Infrastructure Ontario on this application. And thank you for the report. We have reviewed the conditions and concur with the report. And we also believe that the application at hand does meet and pass the 4 tests of the Planning Act and is representative of good planning. I'm happy to discuss detailed questions if there's any that pertain to the application, just in respectful of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nickel. Questions or comments from the committee members? Mr. DiPaolo.
Through you, Chair. The planner referenced a parking study. I didn't see that in our package. Did we miss that, or was that not provided for a reason to us, or?
Yeah, so we don't, sorry, through you, Chair. We typically don't provide the parking studies for applications, the same we don't provide stormwater management studies for certain site plans. As was mentioned in the report, that report was conducted by Stantec Consulting. We can provide committee members with that, but we don't typically include those in these reports.
Thank you.
Mr. Ravenek.
Just a question for clarity, since we don't have access to that parking study. Obviously, there's more than 24 employees at the detention center, so I'm presuming that there is still parking for, if you just explain the if there's employee parking, visitor parking, that would clarify that.
Yes, so sorry, through you, Chair. This reduction in parking is to address the parking requirements created by the expansion of the facility. So this is going to be parking that's provided in addition to what's already there.
Gentlemen? Mr. Ravenek.
Okay, in that case.
I'm sorry, pardon? Mr. Nickel, did you have something to add?
Yes, just to add some further clarity through you, Mr. Chair. The application will be filed for site plan approval next week. And as staff has mentioned, the variance is only for the new facility, and additional parking will be provided for the increase in staff. Thank you, Mr. Chair, staff.
Thank you, Mr. Nickel. Mr. Ravenek.
Okay, in that case, I'll make a motion that the application D13-2025 be approved based on a review of the pertinent information and comments presented at this hearing, having conducted a site visit and for the reasons stated in the planning report.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Mr. Daniels. That's it, that includes the conditions in the report?
Yes, it does.
Seconder? Further comments? Seeing none. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nichol.
Mr. Chair, committee members, staff, thank you for your time and your collaboration in this project. Very much appreciated.
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon. Bye-bye.
Mr. Planner, D1012, D1013, and D1014. We'll have to vote on them separately, but you'll probably want to
Yeah.
address them together.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, yes, I will be addressing all of these applications concurrently. Yeah, so these are 3 consents to sever 2 existing residential properties from an existing agricultural operation at 1674 Kottmeyer Road. The 3 consents are as follows, and there are a little bit of moving parts, so hopefully we can provide a visual aid to help with that. There's going to be 1 consent that's done as a residence surplus to an agricultural operation, and 2 consents done as technical lot line adjustments. As I mentioned, the subject lands in question are 1674 Kottmeyer Road. That's a subject lands that's split zoned currently, but under the Niagara official plan is designated prime agricultural area. As this committee is, I'm sure, aware, the province is pretty restrictive in terms of development and reducing lot sizes within agricultural zones. However, there are a few mechanisms to create lots. So the first being a residence surplus to a farm dwelling. So part 3, which is located along Kottmeyer Road, will be residence to a surplus farm dwelling. That allows a farmer to sever one of their residential properties from their existing agricultural and live in that home. The property located along Hurricane Road, part 2, will be a lot line adjustment. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of this survey sketch, there's a part 7 kind of corner. That is a building lot that was, I believe, taken for a road allowance historically, but was never used. So that building lot will transition to part 2 to become a lot line adjustment, facilitating the second one. So if you could go to the next slide, Nick. So yes, so parts 2 and 7 will be combined along Hurricane Road, eliminating that corner lot. So there will be no new lots created aside from the residence surplus to the agricultural property. The creation of residence to surplus properties are permitted under the Planning Act, as well as the regional official plan and the City of Thorold's official plan. If you could just go to the last slide, Nick. So once the consent is completed, this is what the final parcel will look like. So as you can see, that corner lot, part 7 has been completely eliminated. Part 1 will be rezoned to preclude its use from residential, so it won't be redeveloped on. It will simply remain agricultural only. The parts 2, which combined with part 7, will be rezoned rural. And part 3 will also be rezoned rural to prevent future residential development. That's conditional to this application. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that this is a bit of a moving target, and there are quite a bit of moving parts to it. So I'm happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Questions at this time, Mr. Revenek?
Yeah,
To the
there was
planner?
a comment from Niagara Region about the concerns about the septic.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been incorporated into this?
Yes. So we've been, sorry, through you, Chair. We've been working very closely, the applicants as well as city staff has been working very closely with Niagara Region. So as one of the conditions within this report is that the lot be configured to the satisfaction of Niagara Region. And Niagara Region's main concerns were with septic, just making sure that all of that is contained within the residential lot along Hurricane, as well as the wetland located in the south. we've worked very closely with Niagara. The applicant has worked closely. We're going to make sure that that condition is maintained, and it'll be reconfigured to the satisfaction of Niagara.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Who speaks? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have
yes,
something?
Kieran, through you, Chair.
Daniels.
My question is just regarding the Niagara Region's conclusion on the application. Can you just reread the conclusion? Because it's kind of, it's saying, it's a responsibility of city staff to deal with the lot lines and parcels where specifically were mapped under a wetland and identified as natural heritage features.
Right. Yeah.
Can you just reread that? Because I'm trying to make sense of it, and then I went to the City of Thorold's comments, and they had no comments. So it's kind of, they're saying one thing, but City of Thorold saying nothing.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, we went out on site with Niagara Region, and we spoke with their environmental planner. So we have an understanding of where the lot lines should be in relation to the existing. What the Niagara Region said in their comment, it says, quote, regional staff advised city staff that in its current form, the proposed consent of Part 2 may not conform to the NES policies of the Niagara official plan. Specifically, the proposed lot line would fragment a mapped other wetland, which is identified as a natural heritage feature. Furthermore, from a private septic perspective, the proposed lot line for Part 2 does not meet the setback requirements outlined in the Ontario Building Code. So there's two kinds of points to address with that. The first is the natural environment systems, or the NES system policies of the NOP, and then the private septic concerns. Both of those concerns from the region's perspective are just maintaining those features within one consistent lot. So they don't want wetlands to be divided between multiple lots, the same way they don't want septic systems to be divided between multiple lots. We have made it a condition of this consent that the lot lines be reconfigured to Niagara Region's satisfaction. And so that will address their concerns and change the current form to be compliant with what they're requiring from us.
Okay, so are those shown on the applicant on what we were seeing on the screen here? Or we're not seeing on the screen now?
The issue that Niagara, if you could just pull that back up.
I'm just curious because I was
Yeah.
reading the conclusion, and I went to City of Thorold to see what their comments were, and there was none. So
Yeah, no, so the area where Niagara Region has had an issue is not with anywhere other than right here.
yep.
This building lot line, like I said, they're going to get a survey done to address that lot line concern with this natural feature. The septic as well, they're going to get a second survey done just to make sure that everything is contained within that.
And then they'll redo the property boundary of that dwelling? Okay, so we're not seeing that yet on this? Okay. We just have to take their word they're doing it.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Ravenek.
follow up to Mr. Daniels' question. Just looking at the conditions for the Hurricane Road property, I don't see anything in the condition that reflects that we can approve this subject to adjusting the lot lines to meet Niagara Region's satisfaction.
So I would just direct the committee then to, it's page 3 of the report, at the very bottom, part 6 is the condition that addresses the concerns with the lot lines being addressed to Niagara Region's satisfaction. Sorry, part 3 of the main body of the report. Yes, the condition is number 6.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay? It's on the screen if you need help.
I guess it might be page 28 in your combined package. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay, let's just take a break and we'll let the applicant's agent speak. If he's here, if you could come forward and identify yourself, please. Thank you for your patience.
Good morning. My name is Stephen Rivers. I'm the owner of South Coast Consulting, located at 189 Clare Avenue in Port Colborne. The owner, or one of the three owners of the property, Mr. William Peroshi, is here with me today. I'd like to thank Jay. He did a superior job of explaining this extremely complicated application in a much more with his much more agile and younger mind than mine ever could have. So I'm really not going to add a whole lot to it. As you know, we've met on site with the region. We've actually walked the site with them and agreed that much of the property is existing. It's the way it is. It's the existing house. The lot line will follow the top of bank. We've been trying to get in touch with the surveyor to confirm the survey will be amended to show the top of bank. And the other condition that we've discussed with the region is the 30-meter setback from top of bank to protect the environmental feature on the site, the wetland in the gully that's to the west of the property. After the existing use, the property line will basically follow the setback or the top bank to reach the setback of the existing structure on the property, and will continue then north for the full length of the 45 some meter extension of the east-west north property line. And the environmental buffer can be applied to the rest of the property north of where the existing uses are in place. I hope I haven't confused things any more than already, but I certainly will try to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Mr. Rivers. Questions to,
If I could just jump in, Mr. Chair. I think there is some confusion in terms of how we'll enforce this condition. So prior to the final certificate of consent being issued, we'll get approval from the Niagara region on the lot lines. I just want to clarify, I guess, in terms of enforcement, how the city will go about that.
Mr. DiPaolo?
Through you, Chair, too, just so we're, at the end of the day, we are not getting any new lots here. Lot 7 is actually, part 7 is actually disappearing, and we're squaring off that part 1 to really just square it off. And then, like you say, you'll make sure everything else, all the conditions are met. Thank you.
Mr. Davidson?
Just for clarification, there is one new lot that's being created through this application. So we are severing off both of the houses. The lot along Kottmeyer is being severed as the surplus farm dwelling. So there is one new lot being created, but that's in keeping with provincial policy.
So just so I understand through you, Chair, is that part, like, where's the new part? Is that new, like, because it shows part 3 is being severed? Was that what I'm looking at?
Through Mr. Chair, we'll just get the map back up and I can. So yes, that's correct. Part 3 is being a severed parcel. Basically part 2 and part 7, the triangular piece, it's almost like a swapping of lands. So we're establishing a new lot on part 3, that is the surplus farm dwelling. Part 2 is basically being established, but we're merging part 7 with part 1 so that the net gain is really only one lot through this application.
So just for through you, chairs, just for clarification, the actual lot, is that the box? Like, where does I just don't know where the new lot lines are, and then in part 3, I'm just
Yeah, let me draw it out.
Yeah.
So this will be the new residential lot line for part 2. That will be the new residential lot line for part 3.
Okay.
And then if Nicholas, you could just go to slide 3. As you mentioned, we're squaring this part off.
Right.
That kind of triangular piece is going to be combined with part 2 to establish their new boundaries. And then as Mark mentioned, part 3 will just be severed as the resident surplus to a agricultural operation.
And is there already there's okay, all right, I think I got it. Okay.
Mr. Davidson?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so part 7 was an existing lot of record that was buildable. And what they've really done is they've said, we're going to incorporate that into the farmland, and then we're going to establish that building lot as part 2. So it's really a swapping of the lot lines.
Okay, good. Further questions or comments? Mr. Ravenek, you're twitching. Is that a question?
No
Comment?
question. I was just going to make a motion.
Oh, great. We need to do those separately.
Okay, so the first motion I'll make is in relation to 1674 Kottmeyer, D10-12-2025. I'll make a motion that that application be approved based on a review of the pertinent information and comments presented at this hearing and having conducted a site visit for the reasons stated in the planning report and the conditions stated in the planning report.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that? Mr. Daniels? Further questions and comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Mr. Ravenek, you're on a roll.
Okay. Okay, the next one be in relation to 1844 Kottmeyer, D10-13-2025. And I'll make a motion that that application be approved based on a review of the pertinent information and comments presented at this hearing, and having conducted a site visit and for the reasons stated in the planning report and the conditions stated in the planning report.
Now, D10-13 is your motion?
Yeah, D10-13-2025.
And that's Hurricane Road, right?
Now, according to the top of this page, it's 1844 Kottmeyer.
Sorry, there was an error in the header.
So which address are we dealing with D10-13?
1864 Hurricane Road.
Okay, I don't have a corrected on my copy here, so it'll be 1864
Okay.
Kottmeyer, sorry.
Just wanted to make sure on that. We have a seconder for that? Mr. Jackson? All in favor? Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Ravenek.
Okay, then the last one will be for 1674 Kottmeyer, D10-14-2025. Make a motion that that application be approved based on a review of the pertinent information and comments presented at this hearing, and having conducted a site visit and for the reasons stated in the planning report and the conditions stated in the planning report.
Well done. Seconder? Mr. DiPaolo? Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Well done, everybody.
Chairman, if I may, I'd like to thank you all very much for your time and effort in looking at this very complicated application. And I'd like to thank staff for helping us work through something that has taken us 4 years to nail down. It's done. I'm sure my client is quite happy, and we look forward to satisfying the conditions to your satisfaction.
Thank you, Mr. Rivers.
Yeah, I'll second Mr. Rivers' comments. A good job on planning staff on clarifying this very complex severance.
Well said, well said. No need for a motion on that one. Who said Mark? Who did that?
I thought it was Stephen Rivers,
Oh. Any other business? Members? Staff? Everybody looks so good. Next meeting is
November 20th.
November 20th. How many applications?
That's going to be a big one.
That's going to be a big one?
Bigger than
All right,
5 or 6.
okay. Motion to adjourn? No Mr. Pizza, Mr. Jackson, there you go. Seconded by Mr. Ravenek. All in favor, there we go. Thanks, everybody. Well done.